This is the British Comic Heroes podcast with James, Board, and your host for tonight, ARW.
Hello.
Hello. We're looking at The Mighty Word of Marvel, issue 1, week ending October the 7th, 1972. Now, this is important as it's the 45th anniversary of Marvel as a company doing a specific title for the UK. And it had The Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man and Fantastic Four on a weekly basis, with certainly issue 1 has a UK original cover. It doesn't have any necessarily UK originated material inside, it's all reprints, but they're colour washed to be sympathetic for the strips, which is something we haven't seen previously. We had fantastic, terrific, PAL, so it was just
and indeed
black and white.
And indeed the Alan Class.
And indeed the Alan Class reprints.
They're all black, just black and white.
So, does anyone want to kick off with what they thought of issue 1?
I've got to say, I did not. While there's a degree of sympathy with the Hulk, for example, getting green spot colouring on it, I honestly have to say I think the use of the one additional colour does it no favours whatsoever. Simpler. You can appreciate the artwork more, as we said in previous editions, and it's like when they did the annuals and things like the Marvel annuals. They'd do this. They'd have a couple of pages in colour, and they'd go to something like this, and it was just it jarred terribly. And the fact that they're going, it's colour, but it's one colour. It's green, and a particularly ugly green at that. So
I think it's sympathetic for the Hulk strips.
Yeah, what's the Hulk?
I do think the misregistration, which is not unique, does cause a problem. I'm actually looking at basically page 26 of the Fantastic Four. Well, there's Zipper Tone, which is my pet hate. It's got a green wash, which I think on this particular page is okay, but I think there's a part 2 and logo missing. So they're trying to pitch this as being just one continual strip. The thing I do like about the issue is they're using covers as basically pin-ups. So we've got the cover to, I'm not sure what issue it is, but the Fantastic Four against the Super Scrolls, and I think it's a new colour scheme.
No, that's not Super Scrolls. That's just the Scrolls.
Sorry, the Scrolls. Yeah.
Super Scrolls, the big leap forward for them.
Absolutely. So you've got the use of that. When you go into Spider-Man, you do have nice black and white. It goes into the green. It looks okay. It is misregistered. I've just gone to page 26. There's misregistration.
You've got the beach in green there.
It's
just shoddy and sloppy.
It's not great. But do you know what? Do you know what you do have with issue 1? You have a Spider-Man poster. And the Spider-Man poster is Ditto. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
You have his original Spider-Man cover, which is printed in the UK for the first time.
Yeah.
And probably anywhere. And it was never used in the US. I've got a feeling they did eventually use it on a anniversary edition. It was never printed in the US. Any other thoughts of it? You've got.
I think it's nice to again see these classic stories. But again, for me, in that sort of era, I started reading Marvel things like the superheroes and the black and white ones, and then a few years later with the colour things like the early Fantastic Four. Well, the Fantastic Four about the 170s, which I picked up in London originally. Then I found a place in Hull that was selling, a newsagent was selling the British reprint of the colours. It's interesting to see these very, very iconic stories. The art style is still quite crude. I honestly don't think that using the additional colour benefits it in the slightest. I would much rather read the black and white versions, because you're just seeing the images more clearly. It's crisper. You're getting proper shadowing and things like this. And the fact that you're going, oh look, a hideously green wall behind someone, and now a hideously green desk in the next frame. You're going, it's just rotten, I'm afraid. It just doesn't work for me. Stories are good. They're still strong. They're still strong characters. Dialogue simple but strong. But honestly, I do not know what they were thinking of with those kind of. Whereas curiously with British comics, like things like Wizard and Chips and those kind of things, that kind of colour use works within that because you hadn't seen that in a full colour thing. But it's just a horrific halfway house for me.
I mean, from the early days of My Word of Marvel, I'd say that the green wash is, I'm used to it, and I think when you talk about the Hulk, it sort of works. When you go to Fantastic Four, it doesn't. When Spider-Man gets spun off into his own title, which is after about 19 weeks, he gets his own title. You have like the red wash.
Yeah.
So you have like the green wash over Hulk. In My Word of Marvel, you have the red wash over Spider-Man. And it sort of works to me.
Four get a blue wash?
Maybe Sue Storm gets a blue rinse, but there's, no, they don't. They have to suffer the indignity of having a green wash. But there are, to be fair, there are colour pages in it, and the actual covers are actually recoloured. If the last page of the strip ends up on the last page of the comic, it ends up being, there's a new colour scheme there. It's not the American one. It's actually, it looks like it's been watercoloured.
Yeah.
So they're actually quite attractive. I'm actually looking at the moment at the Mighty Marvel Mystery Gift, which is a rather young-looking Reed Richards, very happy.
He looks like he's crossed with Peter Parker.
Or Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah.
It's not holding his pint.
Yeah, so it's okay, here's how you can get yours absolutely free, wherever it may be. So you have to cut out these tokens every week, and the big clue is as colourful as a rainbow. It's actually a poster, basically. That's
I'm going to say that it's ironic going as colourful as a rainbow for the comic that's largely coloured in really quite horrific greens.
Yeah.
And it's just not even like a particularly nice green, it's a really matte and quite ugly colour in my opinion.
I think it's just misregistrations that cause the problem for me. I think if it was, it's not something I'm going to attempt to actually correct ever.
Yeah.
For example, I'm looking at a page here. It's not from issue 1. It's I think maybe issue 4. You've got Rick Jones and Bruce Banner, and the trousers should be coloured green, although there are really huge white lines where the trousers should be. Maybe they're not supposed to be green. Maybe it's carpet. It's just a mess.
Yeah.
I can't. Let's have a look. I can't think of. Page 6 of the issue I'm looking at actually has the registration correct. But do you know what? I wasn't a great lover of Zippertone, and Marvel UK used that a lot. Green wash seems to be okay. I much prefer. I'm looking at basically the cover of the Incredible Hulk 1, which is
with a green Hulk.
With a green Hulk, and it's been coloured for the UK, and it's nowhere like the colouring of the first issue, but it's very attractive. It looks very, very nice.
But it's an oddity because, of course, as most comic geeks will know, well, those of a certain age, the original Hulk was not green; it was grey.
He was grey, yeah. But then I think Stan Lee said that the intention was the Hulk was going to be red, and they noticed some sort of error at the print house, and it ended up being green. So,
and of course, they did many years later have a red Hulk. It's odd because what they've done there is they've retconned the Hulk to be green on that colour painting of the cover.
Yeah. So what did we think as a launch issue? Would we have thought, okay, I'd rather buy Wizard and Chips that week, or Dandy, or Beano, or the action title?
I've got to say, I personally, I mean, the Mighty World Marvel wasn't what I got into Marvel on. I think that I would, in order, prefer to read things like the superheroes and the ones that came after that. Then Fantastic, and then even the Alan Class ones before I'd read that, because I don't like the colouring of it. I think it really gets in the way. I mean, there's strong strips being put in there, but I just find it a hideous treatment of the material.
Okay, I'll be the dissenting voice this time.
Right. I'm dissenting.
I find the first one quite attractive. I don't like this registration. It's not Zippertone. You've got a green wash on it. There's something about it I actually quite like it. So if I was looking at it now, and obviously nostalgia notwithstanding, I think I would still pick that up. I think that's a good issue. But obviously it's not of your...
Not of my era.
Not of your era. What did you make of that compared to obviously you exposure to Fantastic issue 1.
Well, I mean, I've read most, if not all, of these issues before in colour, reprints. So I'm aware of the material from there. Had I been around in 1974 and into buying comics, would I have picked that up? Maybe, because as James said, the art is still good, the story is still good, the characters are interesting. Yeah, the green wash over it doesn't work in every panel, if not every page. But it's are you buying it for that? Are you buying it for the writing, really? I can't really say if I would buy it or not, because I've been brought up in an age of full colour comics.
Yeah. But it's interesting because you look at it. It's the fact that it isn't a successful technique because it is abandoned. You look at the comics that come after it, like the superheroes, like things that the various combinations that they would do. Things
to be fair to the title, you're talking about. It was 40-page issue.
Yeah.
They went down to a standard 36, so they lost page count. I think the other thing that they did to cut on costs, given it's a reprint title, so what costs could there be in it? Was cut the colour pages, cut the watercolour pages, use zipper tone on it to give it some sort of 3D depth. I personally don't think it works. But when you get to, I'm not quite sure if it's 67, Mike Marvel gets its first ever colour glossy cover, and your contents are completely black and white. What I'm looking at the moment is, I'm actually fascinated by this, and if you've been on BCH for any great length of time, you will have seen this a number of times, and we will probably see it on the screen now. Marvel Stone Coloured Hulk, issue 68. Now, does anyone want to comment on this cover?
Well, somebody's got an awful lot of bronzer on. A lot of bronzer. The Hulk is orange.
That's going in a pre-Trump world.
Yeah, exactly.
I think what's happened here, I think there's obviously a bit green-blue colour skins, and I think one of them missing. Obviously, the Hulk here appears to be brown,
almost
orange. Yeah, it's golden. It's like, it could be the Rock, couldn't it?
Do you mean the Rock?
The Rock.
It doesn't matter if he's the Rock.
Nicely done.
I'm quite intrigued by the physics as well, because they're standing up in low orbit on a rocket, and the Hulk is hitting him. Now, call me an anorak, but the Hulk is going to go flying backwards quite fast from that, because you hit something. He could do the old trick where he clings his toes in and grabs on.
That's probably what
there's no friction there. That's just rubbish.
Can I say you're an anorak?
I am, but the Hulk has always had really, really bad physics in it.
Yes.
Hulk doesn't recognise your puny physics.
Exactly, yes.
The other thing that disturbs me somewhat is the leader's android here appears to be wearing a vest and pants with booties, and the rest of him is flesh coloured. Now, we did do, if you can find anything on BCH, you're better than I am. I'll try and find the colour corrected version that we did to actually give the whole the green colour back, and it actually did bring the trouser colour back, the logo colour back, and also the Android colour back, which made it look normal. To me, this is a curious oddity.
It's very patchy in the way that they've painted the Android, the skin texture. It just patches for no anatomical reason.
Yes, I think this is watercolour, but I think if you saw in the original colour scheme, I think you would, or the original intention, I think it would look good. But if you look at the whole, the tone, despite the wrong colour, it looks good. It does look very patchy on the arms of the Android, but I think if you looked at it where the Android's the right colour, I think maybe you'd be kinder towards it.
It's an
interesting curio, I think.
The picture of the Hulk, top left, on the comic logo, is also in the same orange.
But I would say, I'd expect the logo to have the Hulk in green, which it is.
Yeah.
So we're looking at Mike Marvel. We're going up to issue 100. I don't know if anyone's had a chance to actually look at that, which is an odd issue itself. I actually thought Mike Marvel issue 100. I actually thought it was actually pretty good. I think for nostalgia, given it's only been less than 2 years since the title launched.
I thought the art was remarkably improved.
That'd be her Trimp.
Yeah.
on the strip. What do you think about the guest star? I mean, does anyone remember the guest star? I mean,
Stiltman.
no, in the Hulk, the Hulk story. No, the Hulk story. Yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
It was the Phantom Eagle.
Oh yes, from World War I.
Who remembers him?
No, I don't say that, but he's supposedly, from the story, he's supposed to be an ancestor of Banner, and it was to do with Kang attempting to alter the timeline to eradicate his ancestor, causing a grandfather paradox.
But if you actually look, at the cover of the original version of the Incredible Hulk that it was reprinted from, the Hulk is fighting against numerics. And Phantom Eagle isn't actually on the cover.
Right.
It's just a very, very odd one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to move on a bit to...
Can I just say, there's a bit of deviation from topic.
Yep.
Can we just note that the creator of Wolverine, Len Wein, has passed away, and I think we'll just pay a little bit of credit to that, because he just crossed over with Hulk as well, as his first encounter is with Green Jaws in a great big battle.
Absolutely, yeah. In fact,
when he still had
was Mighty Word of Marvel 198.
Yep.
Has the first part of the premiere appearance of Wolverine. This we picked up recently on BCH as a news story because it was on sale, I think on eBay. This was a British reprint title for about £1,500 or $1,500.
Wow.
I'm thinking, nobody told me it was going to be worth that much. Now, part of the interest would appear to be the Hulk's face. Look at the reprint titles of this. It actually has an amended face. So this would appear to be a straight reprint of, obviously it's been widened, but a straight reprint of the particular Incredible Hulk title. Like I say, if you see this in where it's been reprinted subsequently, that the actual Hulk face is amended. So,
but I don't think they're not buying for the story. They're buying it because it's a landmark.
It's on the cover. Yeah. Which is a shame really, because the next cover I think is actually very good. But unfortunately it ties in with and I don't have it here sadly, ties in with the fact that the Avengers were amalgamated into Mighty Word of Marvel. And Mighty Word of Marvel became the dumping ground for failed titles. So for example, the Avengers are co-credited till you get to Mighty Word of Marvel 231, where it's Hulk and Planet of the Apes as co-stars. Okay, so that's fine, so Planet of the Apes, and then you get
there's a missing link there.
Mighty Word of Marvel, Hulk and Dracula Lives, which is another council title. In fact, they basically Dracula Lives and Planet of the Apes merged before the Apes title went to Mighty Word of Marvel, and then Dracula Lives replaced it. Then you get Mighty Word of Marvel, Hulk and Fury, which was Marvel UK's attempt to do a war comic, and they just called it Fury. Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos and Captain Storm, I think it was. Plus 1950s reprints of War Story. Then you're getting Incredible Hulk and the Fantastic Four, which was from their council title, although they were originally in Mighty Word of Marvel. Now I'm looking at Mighty Word of Marvel 300. We've got a really dull cover, in my opinion. You have Herb Trimp still on the Hulk, and I think he's past his prime of it. You have George Perez on Fantastic Four, which I think is another good period of the Fantastic Four. I'm looking at...
Certainly iconic looks for all the characters though.
Yeah, I'm looking at page 10 and the thing looks absolutely amazing. The difference here from the launch is the fact that there are, I think, 400 titles in here rather than...
there it is, Stop Man, I knew you turned up.
You've got Zipper Town again, I'm not a fan of it, don't like it, don't want to see it. And the final strip in it, if I've got this right, The Invaders, and splash pages as recaps. No pun intended, it's Captain America on here. No, don't like. I just think it just shows how much the title had degenerated, and then issue 329 is the last of Marvel. But I think its influence is undeniable in the sense it survived until the late 70s,
Yeah.
and other titles were merged to it. So I think when it's reinvented by Des Skin, which is 313, it's just called Marvel Comic, you end up with 6 strips, and they're all, and we've seen this before, cut and pasted
Yeah.
like a standard British strip. So
Well,
all the
so-
artwork is cut up
But I've
or
got
stretched.
an annual which is just called Marvel, and
Yeah.
I think that's late 60s.
Is it the Fleetway
Can't remember off the top of my head.
Is it Spider-Man on the cover or was it Hulk?
Again, can't remember. It's quite striking. It's got, I think, multiple characters on the cover, but I think it is 60s.
There were 2 Marvel annuals, and I think IPC took over Odham's copyright. So I think it was just lip service, or it's using material, whatever. Marvel took the rights, right when Marvel came. But there was the odd story annual. There were story annuals which were text based.
Now this is great. It's quite a colourful cover. I think it predates my '68 Fantastic Annual. I'm not totally certain.
Right, I'll probably have to do a little bit of research on
I'll
that.
have to dig it out of my box
We'll have
somewhere.
a chat about it.
Yeah,
If
I'll
it's-
find the thing.
if it's- I mean, there were Marvel text annuals,
Mhm.
which we have covered, but there were 2 non-Marvel Marvel annuals. One is the Kirby, Hulk holding the cannon, and when the soldiers all falling off it, which was a painting, and there was a 1970s Spider Iron Man cover where you've got guys wearing floppy hats and flared trousers.
Right.
They're just very, very lovely images. I'm not quite sure if that's what we're going to. Anyways, I think we need to wrap up. So what do we think? Right, we go to Marvel. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I suggest that maybe James thinks it's thumbs down.
I think it's important because it was a spearhead and a a beachhead for Marvel into getting
I
into.
think it was in the market.
But compared, as I say, to the ones that preceded with Fantastic and the ones that came later, I would have go for those over Mighty World Marvel.
Okay, that's enough. Bod?
Yeah, I think James said it pretty well. It was going to fare to middling in the title. If it had just been black and white, I think it would have been a stronger comic. But again, you've still got the stories, the characters, and the artwork. So yeah, I suspect it would have been a purchase for me at the time. But yeah, this day and age, it clearly wouldn't be.
I do think about it a lot. Maybe I'm just sad, but I just wonder whether you could actually ever do a weekly comic again, and could you ever use that material again on a weekly basis and get away with it?
I think the world's changed too much, the market's
I'm not
changed too
sure.
much, and media's changed too much. I think there's too many competing distractions now in other media.
So I do think that as a title, I think it's certainly important for Marvel UK. It launched then in the UK. They had at 1.7 weekly titles out, and I did some brief sums, and I think that it production-wise would have equalled or exceeded what Marvel were releasing in the US on a monthly basis, just on the number of issues they're getting out.
But they also had the advantage that they were playing catch-up for material that had been running for years in the US, and therefore they were able to burn it faster with by going weekly. So they had that, and the British comic market was different. That's the thing.
Right, I think on that note, that wraps us up tonight. This is British Comics Heroes, IRW, so good night from me, good night from James.
And good night from me.
Excelsior.